And that's my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rocket Sports Show, live from high atop Hard Rocket Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. We are your 2-hour weekly get-together. We bring you all the biggest news around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And welcome to Thursday night, February the 5th in our year of our good Lord, 2026. And it is that time of year again. This has got to be the 14th or 15th Super Bowl that we've done our show before. And I gotta tell you, it's a lot. It's never gets old. Show's gonna be a lot of it's around the Super Bowl tonight. So buckle up, buttercups, and sit tight. Again, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys have had a great week. It's cold. Bottom line, it is cold out, and I hope you guys have managed to stay warm. I hope you guys have avoided black ice and all the treacherous stuff out there. And I'm glad you guys took a few minutes tonight to tune in and catch me and Jeff and the whole gang in our weekly get-together. And, of course, this is going to be a lot of football tonight. This show, if you know anything about the show, it's built around it. There's a lot of good stuff going on out there. The Knicks on an 8-game winning streak. This is a really good Knicks team, especially when Towns plays to the proper level. When he can play the level of his game and not lower his standards of ability. The guy's a talented player. Karl-Anthony Towns is a very talented player, but he's a very lazy player. And one thing that frustrates me is when he plays defense, he never moves his feet. He's always reaching, and he's and anytime you reach, whether you get anybody or not, it just looks like it to the referees, and you're going to get a call. And he's very lazy on getting back. And they're not the greatest defensive team anyway. I mean, they have some guys who can play. Mitchell Robinson is a beast. I think Josh Hart's got a lot of effort in him. OG is a good defender. Brunson, Towns, not. But when this Knicks team is playing well, when Robinson's playing good defense like he did last night, when Towns is playing to his ability, the Knicks are a finals team. This Knicks team can go to the finals. Now, can they win it and beat Oklahoma and all of that? I don't know. I don't know about that. I haven't watched enough basketball to tell you. I'll get into it a little bit now and more toward the playoffs. Hockey, the Islanders have a really good team. The Rangers do not. They just traded Artemi Panarin. I could see a very big revamping of that team coming in the near future. They have a couple of pieces that I could see. I could see keeping and all that, but I have a hard time watching this team. They are bad, just bad to watch, and it's no fun. It's embarrassing as a Ranger fan. I can't remember. They've had some bad teams, but this team is putrid. For me, it's putrid. They don't play defense. They don't capitalize. They don't play with energy. There's a lot of nights they just take the night off. And if there's a way to cut the entire team, I wouldn't mind seeing them do it. But I don't know. Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff going on. Yankees and Mets, pitches and catches in a week or so. So there's a lot of angst. What do these teams look like? The Mets, a lot of changes, nothing huge. Some good. Peralta's a good move. Bichette's a nice move. So we'll see how good this team is and responds. It could be a lot of good pieces that just don't come together. It could be a team that meshes well. I don't know. I don't see this Met team being a World Series team. But again, it's going to take. Is their pitching improved? We'll see. No Diaz, so they're automatically not better. They did bring in Williams from the Yankees. I don't know how much that'll help. Devin Williams did not pitch well for the Yankees, but I'll give him credit for staying in New York. As far as the Yankees go, basically running it back. Grisham's back. Bellinger's back. The biggest upgrade for the Yankees would probably be Cole coming back this year at some point. But, Rodon's out for a little while. Cole's still out for a little while. Clark Schmidt's out till, I think, August. When they get everybody healthy, if they're in the mix, the Yankees will be a tough team. I mean, with those three guys back and healthy, Fried, Heel, Warren, Schlittler, the Yankees have the makings of a really good top five pitching staff. Bednar is, if he's as he was last year, will be a fine closer. How to get to him will be the question mark. And then again, there's still a lot of questions. I mean, you know, defensive first base might suffer. I don't know what Rice is going to look like this year. We'll see if he picks it up. I think that you'll see a very motivated second baseman. His name is Jazz Chisholm. Will be very motivated this year because he's. I think it's in his. He's in a free agent year next year. When Volpe comes back, what will you see? I mean, Volpe's a very up and down player. I wish he would just get back to driving the ball the other way and playing good defense. And his future may be over at second base. I mean, just after the last couple of years, I think they're just forcing this kid into that spot for now, and his future may be on second base or even third base. Now, I like McMahon at third. He's got a great glove. He's got to hit. We got to see better hitting out of the catching spot. The outfield should be solid. I mean, Grisham's a hell of a center fielder. If Judge and Bellinger both stay healthy, it's a really good outfield. So I expect the Yankees to win 90 games, 90 plus. I expect the Yankees to make the playoffs, and I expect the Yankees to be the Yankees, which is basically stop hitting in the playoffs. So we'll see. I mean, I just when you run the same team out every year, year after year, and the same things happen, it's hard to believe anything different is going to happen. Is this going to be the year that the Yankees get into the playoffs and actually hit? I don't know. But it's going to depend on, does Rice repeat last year? Does Volpe come back and remember how to hit and play defense? Do you get anything out of third base? And do the corner outfielders, Bellinger and Judge, stay healthy and have the year that they can have? Yeah, Yankees will win 90-plus games. They'll challenge and they'll make the playoffs somehow, and we'll see. But you're a week away from that. You get the World Baseball Classic, which I don't like. I love all of these tournaments. World Cup in soccer. The Four Nations tournament was great last year in hockey. I love the Olympics, Canada Cups, all those kind of things. I love that kind of international stuff. It's a lot of pressure to win. I think it's fantastic. The Olympics are coming up this Friday night. I'll watch the hockey team. There's a lot of excitement about the U.S. team. They still got to get past Canada and McDavid and Crosby and all that whole crowd. But I look forward to it big time. But I have to tell you, the World Baseball Classic, I could do without. I just do. And for me, a guy like Judge, who's coming off an arm injury last year, played through it. To be playing in the World Baseball Classic, to me, I would have hoped he would have passed on it. He's played in it for years. I don't know. I would just hope that Judge would have said, you know what, thanks, but no thanks. Let me go to spring training and get healthy and get in my groove and all of that. And so we'll see. Hopefully he stays healthy, and I'll root for the American team. I won't watch very much. I might watch like the championship games, but I'm not a big World Baseball Classic person. I don't know if anybody out there is, but if you are, great. It's just not for me. But again, the Olympics kick off this week. I love the Olympics. If I had one dream, I don't know if it's a dream, but I would love to be like locked in my house in the winter basically in a snowstorm and just have to watch the Olympics every day. Can't go to work, can't go anywhere, and watch the Olympics. I just think it's fun, especially the Winter Olympics with the skiing, hockey, all the, bobsled, the luge. I love all those events. The Summer Olympics is fun. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great events. I get a little bored with some of it, but same thing for the Winter Olympics. I'm not a big fan of the figure skating. Speed skating's not bad. I think they have the bicycles on ice. That's a weird one for me. And they do spend an awful lot of time on curling, which to me, it's just a bar event. I don't know. I play it on a board somewhere, but people go crazy for curling, and the Olympics, they show it like mad. So, but I do love the Olympics and the pageantry. And I know Netflix has out the documentary on the 19 Winter Olympics, the gold medal winning team. I have yet to watch it. I will watch it this weekend. I will tell you again, it's still the greatest sporting event you will ever see in my lifetime. Now, maybe my kids or grandkids, maybe something else will happen. Maybe, the U.S. and China. The problem is it's the geopolitical part of it that can't be replicated. We were so down as a country, gas shortages and unemployment running rampant, and patriotism was at an all-time low in 1979, 1980. Jimmy Carter, maybe a nice man, terrible president, terrible. He might be the only guy worse than Joe Biden, and that's a running close. But that Olympic team was like and I've said this a bunch of times on the show, so I'm not repeating something new here. But that 1918 was kind of a microcosm of the time. The little American team, nobodies, they kind of pushed aside. Here comes the big bad Russians. They're going to dominate the world. They're going to dominate the ice. And this little bunch of 20 people, 20-person team, hockey team goes out there and slays them. And it was like it lit the torch of patriotism in this country. And from that point on, obviously Reagan comes into office. We get the hostages back from Iran. And the 80s are a boom for the United States. And we haven't looked back since. We've had some problems, but the United States has climbed back up on top of the mountain. And that's where we stand now. And this is the greatest country in the world. And if you don't think so, do me a favor. Go live somewhere else and tell me what it's like to live there instead of here. That's all. So, but, if you get a chance to watch, if you don't know much about the 1980 team, and even if you do, I tell you, watch all of it, because there is no bigger sports story. If you're a sports fan, there is no bigger sports story ever than that Olympics. I have it on DVD. I have all those games on DVD. One of these days I'll drag them out and I'll watch a few of them. But by far, it is the best sports story you can ever write. There isn't another big event in sports that will equal that. My opinion only. You may have 100. I can't think of a bigger sports story that crossed over, from sports to politics to American patriotism. You'd have to really do it. So for me, every time we get to this point, and then the Winter Olympics are popping up, and we're 4 years away from the 50th anniversary of those games. Hopefully a lot of the players will still be alive. Most of them are still alive. Brooks, the coach, is gone. I know Pavlich, I think, is passed. There may be another player or two, another player who's gone. But most of that team is still alive. A lot of them were just in the White House. So, again, if you haven't had a chance to ever see it, watch the documentary. And I'm sure they're out there. You can watch the whole games. It's a lot of fun. That's, again, the best time. Best hockey, best sporting event of all time. So, again, we got a lot of talk to tonight. Jeff popped up. Let's get him on. We got a lot to get to tonight. We're going to talk a lot of football, obviously, some baseball. Not much in the way of music stuff right now, just not out there. Hard Rocket Sports Band's out there. We'll talk a little of that, although it looks like Jeff might be frozen. Let me see if he's out there. And let's get the show started the only way I know how. That's by bringing on my partner in crime. Matt, I was watching something on TV, and they showed a Pro Bowl game. Must have been 20 years ago or better. Probably into the 90s. And the quarterback took off running, and he got shellacked. I mean, just absolutely crushed. And everybody was high-fiving. And I went, and then they showed a clip of the Pro Bowl from Tuesday night with Joe Burrow scoring. And they went, what an embarrassment. And it is. Today's players, and I get it, it's a lot of money out there. But, for pride alone, it's an embarrassment. I'm sorry. It's an embarrassment. Today's players are soft. They're better athletes. They're better players. I'll give you all of it. But today's players are soft. And the biggest problem is they probably like each other too much. That's probably one of the bigger problems. But it's an embarrassment. When you go back and you look at stuff. I was watching Steve Young the other day, who had a thing. He said the biggest hits he ever took were in the Pro Bowl. I mean, I don't know. To me, I just don't understand today's players. And the NFL should stop embarrassing themselves and the league and just cancel the whole thing. It ain't Don't call it the Pro Bowl. You know what? That would be the smartest thing they could do. Just call it the NFL skills competition. Show up. Now it's not even on a Sunday anymore. Now it's a Tuesday night during the thing in a conference room in the city. I mean, it's not even in a stadium. You're not getting 80,000. It is an embarrassment, and the NFL should just do away with it. And if you want to have an event there and have the players, no problem. It's the NFL skills competition. But to call it a Pro Bowl, and any player of this era, whoever says I was a 5-time Pro Bowl player, you're an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment. If you hang that on your resume, I'm sorry, it's an embarrassment. First of all, they get down to like the 17th quarterback because who's hurt, who don't want to play, who's in the Super Bowl, and then they get down to all right, who's left? I think Matt made 2 or 3 Pro Bowls at this point. So. Yeah, it's an embarrassment. Just take it away. Call it. We're not going to do the Pro Bowl anymore because it's not a Pro Bowl. It's not football. It's not anything like it. And just call it the skills. So let's get Jeff on, see if he's still there. Get the show kicked off, and then we're going to do that one way, and that's by bringing on my buddy, Mr. Jeff Blackest Sabbath Tolwinski. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
All right, Jeff, let's get the show kicked off. We got a lot to get to tonight. You got a top 25 list of quarterbacks, which you have a huge problem with. You said we got Hall of Fame voting to talk about. We got top 5 best and worst Super Bowls of all time. We got a lot of stuff to get to. The Super Bowl game itself, I'll get to that. I'll get to that one, Matt. But, Jeff, we can only start the show one way, and that's by asking you, Jeff, how was your week?
It sucked balls.
Oh, all right.
Just like every other fucking week, it sucked. I had to go to work. I had to deal with jerk-offs. And here we are. At least it ends good.
Yeah, it does end the week. I guess this is the end of the week for you. Like, start of the next one. I'm not sure. But Rams 49. Yeah, we're going to get to I have my list of best and worst Super Bowls. We'll get to that in a little bit. But, Jeff, it's Super Bowl week, and I got to be honest with you. I think this is going to be a really good football game. It's 2 good defenses, 2 good offenses. Vrabel is a veteran coach, as a player has been here before. The Seahawks, their coach McDonald has done a nice job. This might be a good football game, but I got to tell you, there's zero buzz about this football game.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, is it even happening? I mean,
that's
really seen much.
Yeah,
it's more about the offseason in the NFL than the actual Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's funny because it's really a good matchup. I have to be honest with you. I think this is a good matchup of teams. It could go a lot of ways, obviously, at just any football game. But I see this as a good defensive matchup where you got to play field position. You can't be stupid on going for it on 4th downs in bad spots. And, you have 2 quarterbacks who, Drake May has really turned his career into something in his second year. And Sam Darnold is the ultimate redemption story. I mean, whether you like the guy or not, he's won 28 games in the last 2 years. He's the only quarterback who's ever done that. And, whether you think he's a bust, and I went all year saying I'm waiting for the Florida dropout. He's in the Super Bowl. He's had 2 years, and it's a great story. No matter how, unless you're a Jet fan, I guess.
Yeah, it's a wonderful Super Bowl if you're a Jet fan. You get to watch the Patriots again, and then the quarterback you drafted sucked for Sam and all this other shit, and off he goes to another team, and he almost took a team to the Super Bowl last year with the Vikings. He had a really good year until the last couple games, and now here he is in the Super Bowl. But listen, it is what it is.
But I tell you what, just I want to get my dad on. I know he's had a long day, so I want to get him on real quick. But I got to be honest with you. If I'm the Jets or a Jet fan, to me, you can have that, and most people point to the Jets because of all of that. But the team who really should be embarrassed by Sam Darnold's success is the Minnesota Vikings, because he played really well for them last year, up until the last 2 or 3 games, and we predicted it that it would happen. But Sam Darnold had a really good season last year, and they made no attempt to bring him back, and they just decided to go with J.J. McCarthy, who at this point has spent more time on the disabled list than playing in football games, and he certainly hasn't played well. So I think if you're the Jets, you say, well, he left us and he was a horror. He went to Carolina, he was a horror. He's bounced around and he's been a horror other than last year. So if I'm the Jets, I go, what was I supposed to do? The Minnesota Vikings, I think, Jeff, should be more embarrassed.
Well, listen, the Jets drafted him, and this is just Jet luck that something like this happens. I understand what you're saying, but you know what? Here he is in the Super Bowl. While the Vikings haven't been to the Super Bowl in almost as long as the Jets.
Yeah.
The Vikings have had some success here and there. And, compared to the Jet team this year, the Vikings were successful. They didn't suck as bad as the Jets. And listen, while I understand what you're saying, it's still the thought that, there's another ex-Jet. Every year we go through the ex-Jets who's going to be in who's in the Super Bowl. And with Sam Darnold, it basically came down to like you said, waiting for the floor to drop out, and it just doesn't. Yeah, and it's pretty amazing. So we'll have to see what happens if it happens during the Super Bowl or if he continues to be successful.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, if this game could end in a tie, I'd be a happier person. But it is what it is.
No, I get it. I certainly do get it, Jeff, and certainly a game will not end in a tie. So.
I know it's virtually impossible.
I think it's a Jets' lack of luck. I think it's a better coaching. He went to two teams.
It's the Jets' lack of luck.
I gotta tell you, I think the thing that saved his career was going to the 49ers and sitting on that team with not Brock Purdy, but Shanahan and that staff have a magic touch, and I think that has changed his career. He didn't play
much over there, though, Tom.
It's not like he doesn't matter. No, it's sometimes it's not about playing. It's not about playing. It's about learning how to be a quarterback, learning different things that you might not have learned to that point, or breaking things down better at a certain point. And it just, to me, he looked like a horror the entire way. He got there, went to Minnesota, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, who's that guy? So
listen, there's no denying that he had a great 2 years.
Yeah.
Of course, he had a great 2 years, last year and this year. It's just, the Jets just, if you told them this is going to be a short thing, they'd fuck it up. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
You can't, there is no way around it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's it. You guys could say whatever you like. I've been watching them since 76, 77. They're just awful. They'll continue to be awful, and that's that.
Right,
until the day comes that the credits are rolling up on the end of the Super Bowl and they're there on the field hoisting up the trophy, they will suck. That's all there is to it.
I got you. Well, we're certainly gonna see, and we'll play it by ear. But let's get my pops on, and then we'll get to the thing. Let's see what he got to say. Maybe he wants to talk Yankees, Super Bowl. Let's see what he's got to say, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the show. Hang on there. What's up, Pop?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, Pop. What's going on?
No, not much. Just enjoying the conversation, and I think it's going to be an interesting Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of favor Seattle because of their offense.
Yeah.
And their defense.
Mm-hmm.
And if they put a couple of hurtings on the quarterback from
Drake May.
Right. They're gonna win the game pretty good, I think.
I agree. I would say this. I'm rooting for the Pats. I am a closet Patriot fan. I've always been a kind of a Patriot fan growing up. Steve Grogan and all of that, that whole team. But I would say I think Seattle. I think they're just a better team, and it's not going to be. It's not. This is. I think if the Pats win, it's not an upset, even though they're underdogs in this game. I don't find they're two very even teams, very 1 and 2 in the leagues and all that. I think these are the two best teams. Got to the playoffs, got to the Super Bowl, and I expect it to be a really close game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I believe this is a 21-17 game. I'll give my official prediction, but you can kind of figure out where I'm going with it. But, Jeff, I think this is again, I don't think if you're a fan of football's flying all over the place and 40, 50 points being scored by both teams, that's not going to be a Super Bowl for you. But if you're an old school fan of football, I think you're going to love this game.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a game like that either. I don't think you're going to see that many points scored.
Yeah, I would agree. And Pop, I think I would love to see one of those games. And we've had a bunch of them in the Super Bowl. And we've had a whole bunch of games where, it was down to the last play. It was down to the last quarter, last drive. And I think you'll see that. But again, Seattle's defense, especially the secondary, can take over this game and shut down New England. They are that good. They are that fast. I would be surprised if New England scored more than 21 points in this game, unless there's special teams issues and stuff. But this is the makings of a good, solid football game if you're a football fan.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah,
I think they got a good shot.
Yeah,
and
I think it should be fun.
All they got to do is contain that quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he can change the game around by his running.
Yeah, Matt, I agree with you, Matt. Anything in that score range, I think, is fine. And, listen, May is one of those kids who, if he gets going in this game, he could take it over. He's fast. He's very elusive for a young quarterback. He throws the ball exceptionally well. He's very smart. He doesn't have a ton of weapons. The thing I like about them, Jeff, New England, is they can run the football really, really well.
You got Stevenson and that other kid that was a rookie. Very
Yep. Tredavian Henderson. So
like that,
New England can run the football. So if they were to get out ahead, and they could put the game on ice, running the ball, and they play good defense. I think their strength of running the football and being up front goes well against Seattle's a little bit of weakness up front. They're not weak, but if I was going to pick, you don't want to throw on them, you want to run on them. That's my opinion. So, but that we'll see. We'll get more and more into the game. Lots to talk about with it.
I'm going to let you guys go.
All right, Pops,
and relax.
You got it. Go. You relax. Now, I will see you the next day or two.
Yeah, good. The only thing I want to emphasize, and it's only my conjecture, the best quarterback that I ever saw, naturally, was Johnny U.
Right.
Johnny Unitas.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, listen, it's he's in anybody's top five, no matter whether you saw him play or not. The guy changed the way the game is played and played at a different level. But that's. We'll see what Jeff's got a list of top 25. We'll see if John Unitas made it on that list.
Okay. All right, Jeff, take care. Nice talking to you, buddy.
Be good, Mr. Florio.
Say hello.
I will.
That's my Pops. He checks in every week, and we love having him on the show. Anyway, Matt, love Andre Tippett. That whole era, Tippett, Pat Swilling, all those guys that were in the Ricky Jackson, all those guys who were in the Lawrence Taylor mode, just amazing athletes, and everybody had their number 56. And Tippett was a good one. So, Jeff, what do you want to do next? You want to do your top? You want to do your quarterback list? You want to?
The quarterback list is more of a joke than anything else. I found it online while I was at work, and okay. I was like, some of the names on this list just I don't understand, and I had to write them down because I couldn't print it out or whatever. I didn't know how to print that particular page out at work. But this is worth some talking about, man, because there's some names on here that definitely do not belong on this list, and there's some names in places that I just can't figure out. So whenever you're ready, man, let me know.
Go for it.
All right, so number 25, you want to take a guess who was I forget the source too. It wasn't any like Sports Illustrated or the Daily News or anything like that. It was some other offshoot sports paper or whatever. But
okay,
you want to take a guess who number 25 was?
No, this is just all time. This is not Super Bowl related. This is not
Super Bowl related. Definitely not. There's a lot of people on this list that have never even been to the Super Bowl.
One hint. Just give me one hint. Is it the guy should never made the top 100 list, basically, or is he? I can't believe this guy's this far down on the list.
No, I believe he should be on the top 25. Actually, he's pretty much a 500 quarterback. If that gives you a hint.
Well, I would say it's Eli Manning then.
And I will say that you're wrong.
Oh, really? That's great.
Oh, yeah. It is Dan Fouts. Eli Manning is not on this list.
Wow. Again, that doesn't shock me, but Dan Fouts at number 25. Interesting. All right, so you got to give me the list by 24 and work your way down, and we'll go through it.
24 is Warren Moon. Now, I don't have a problem with Warren Moon being on the list, really. But is he a top 25 of all time?
I'd have to hear the whole list so that way I know who got bumped. I don't know if I have a major problem with Warren Moon being on the list, as long as he didn't replace somebody who does deserve to be on the list.
Well, listen, I hear you, but you know what? He's on the list.
Yeah, I would not put Warren Moon in my top 25. So
if he was on the list, neither would I. If he was on the list, I would say that he has to be between 25 and 20, right?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, the lower end of the list, without a doubt. But he was number 24 on the list. Number 23, New York Giant quarterback Russell Wilson.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And now I understand he's been to a couple Super Bowls and everything, and he had a lot of early career success. But 23 out of the top 25.
That's a little okay.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's a perplexing one. So go ahead.
All right. Next, number 22 would be Josh Allen.
Wow. Okay.
Now,
okay. There's a weird mix to stop this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Josh Allen being on the list, but there's other quarterbacks that should have been on the list for obvious achievements.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Let's get through the list, and then we can.
He hasn't been on done anything yet.
I agree with
number 25, 24, 23, 20. Number 21 is Bart Starr.
Wow, okay.
Okay. Number 20, Troy Aikman.
Okay.
Number 19, Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
Yeah. You see where this is going?
Yeah, go ahead. Wow, this is retarded so far, but go ahead.
Okay. Number 18, Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Wow. Okay.
Now, I don't have a problem. Of course, I don't have a problem with Roethlisberger being on the list, but I think he should be, slightly lower, not lower, higher on the list.
I would
top
agree.
15.
I would agree. Again, we need to see who's on the list, and then we can. Yeah, but go ahead. So far, it's perplexing to say the least.
Okay. Number 17, Jim Kelly.
Wow. Okay. That's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Number 16. You want to take a guess? I want you to take a guess who's number 16. I guarantee you a steak dinner for you and your wife, plus a cake to take home. Okay. Plus whatever else you want. I'll buy you a car if you get it right too. How's that?
Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar.
Well, wow. No, Fran Tarkenton. But it was a name out of nowhere, huh?
Wow. Yeah. This might be the most perplexing list we've ever had on this show.
Oh, well, stand by.
Okay.
Stand by for the closing doors, as they would say. Number 15, Terry Bradshaw.
Way too low.
Number 16, Matthew Stafford. Number 14, Kurt Warner.
Okay.
Now you ready to get into the good stuff?
Go ahead, 12.
Okay. Number 13, because I didn't put numbers near them, so I'm doing it now as we go along. Number 13, Drew Brees.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with Drew Brees being on the list. Of course, I think he deserves to be on the list.
Yeah.
I think he should be a little bit higher than 13.
Okay.
Number 12, Roger Staubach.
Okay.
Now, I don't have a problem with Roger Staubach being on the list either. I think he should be on the list. But don't you think he should be more in the 20s?
Again, I'm going to say the answer is yes. I'm just curious. I'm assuming we're going to start to hear Favre and Marino and Elway and some of those guys. So I just want to see the whole list shake out, and then
listen, that's fine, but the list continues to perplex.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Go ahead.
All right, so then we have Steve Young at number 11.
Boy, oh boy, okay.
Johnny Unitas at number 10.
Wow, okay.
Brett Favre at 9. Dan Marino, 8.
Wow.
John Elway, 7.
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers at
Wow.
6. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2. No. Aaron Rodgers at 5. 1, 2.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers 5. I got the numbers going down. Don't worry, you're good.
Peyton Manning is after Rodgers at 4.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes, 3.
Wow.
Number 2, Joe Montana.
Okay.
And number 1, Tom Brady.
Okay.
Now just my thoughts real quick. If you put Jim Kelly on the list, okay, and he got his team to 4 Super Bowls, okay, and you got Lamar Jackson on the list, who's never been in a Super Bowl, and you got Josh Allen, who's never been in a Super Bowl.
Right.
Why not put Donovan McNabb on the list, who's been to 4 NFC Championship games in a row? You know, shouldn't that do something, get something? You know, where's Joe Burrow? He had some early career success, plus he's been in a Super Bowl. He didn't win it.
Yeah.
Eli Manning, where's Eli?
Yeah, I mean, the order of this list. I mean, first off, I like Patrick Mahomes. He don't go up ahead of Elway or Marino. That just doesn't happen.
Well, you know what? He has more championships than Elway and Marino.
Again, I got you, and I'm with you. There's no way I don't mind the first 2. That's fine. Manning at 4 is fine. Rodgers is, Marino Elway should be ahead of Rodgers. I don't care what Rodgers has done.
Well, what has Rodgers done? He went to 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah, again, to me,
I don't believe that he should be that high. He should be in the top 25, but he shouldn't be that high.
I would agree. If he, Stafford being on the list is no problem. Bradshaw should be high. The guy won 4 Super Bowls. He's got to be higher. Bradshaw's won 4 Super Bowls. He's got to be higher on the list.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Yeah,
I mean, Aikman should be higher. I mean, I'm not an Aikman fan, but the guy won 3 Super Bowls.
He won 3, right?
Yeah, you got to factor that in. I mean,
didn't he have more Super Bowls than Roger Staubach? Roger Staubach won 2, right?
I think Staubach only won 1. He went to a couple. He might have went to 3. He only won 1. The other Super Bowl was not won by Staubach. The first one against the Dolphins or whatever. The first one they won, I don't think he was the quarterback. He won. He lost to the Steelers a couple times, and then he beat the Broncos that 1 year.
Yeah.
So So.
And I mean, Josh Allen. What is Josh Allen? I think Josh Allen's a great quarterback. I don't think that he's done anything at this point in his career to be considered one of the top 25, top 50, definitely.
Well, let's say who's missed. Let's start with who's missing on the list. So Eli, I don't care what you tell me. I think Eli deserves to be on this list ahead of a few of these guys, especially Russell Wilson. I
agree. Russell Wilson should not be on the list.
Yeah. So
I don't have a problem with Dan Fouts being on the list.
No, I think Dan Fouts is too low. I mean, Dan Fouts should be top 15, I would say.
Dan Fouts didn't, unfortunately for Dan Fouts, he never got to a Super Bowl, and I know that he didn't have a lot of playoff success. They only had a couple years where they were successful, and his record was 86, 84, and 1.
Wow.
Now, I understand it was a different time, too.
No, but you're right. Those things have to be factored in there. Absolutely.
Well, factor this in here. Until Joe Namath threw for 4,000 yards, until Dan Fouts came and started doing it regularly, I think he had 4 seasons of over 12,000 yards. Nobody else came close to Namath.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no doubt.
So, that's got to count for something, even though that team had limited success. When I mean limited success, that, for the most part, they were either 500 or below, but they had a couple really good years with Air Corral.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Matt. Aikman's way too low. If you want to put Jackson on this list, Jackson should be 25, 24. Allen at that point with them. I would put Sims on my list, Matt. Again, would he fall in the top 25 or just past it? Could be. I'm trying to think of who's missing. To me, Eli's missing off this list. I don't know. Is Philip Rivers on this list?
No, he's not.
No, I know he's not on the list, but should he be on the list?
Top 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I also think, if you take Stafford and Kurt Warner,
yeah.
Okay, I don't think that both of them should be on the list.
Yeah, I don't think Kurt Warner belongs on this list. The guy had only a couple of really great seasons. I know he
does have a Super Bowl victory, but then again, Eli has 2 Super Bowl victories and he's not on the list.
Yeah.
And then Trent Dilfer and a few others also have one and they're not on the list. But
Jim Plunkett's got 2 Super Bowls and he's not on the list, and nor does he deserve to be on the list. Yeah, I would tell you, oh boy, I'm trying to think of who else. So Eli and Rivers belong on this list. To me, Russell Wilson doesn't belong here. Neither does Kurt Warner. Stafford does. He's had enough success. Tarkenton,
wait a minute. I got it. Stafford. I think Stafford belongs on the list.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Oh, I thought you said he didn't belong.
No. He absolutely belongs. He's done more late in the last few years with the Rams that.
He was always throwing for big yardage because they were always behind.
Right.
Well, I would love to know if you were to break down the yardage he threw for, how much of it, because he used to top out a lot of big games.
Yeah.
He had, was it Calvin Johnson was his receiver too right? Was it Calvin Johnson?
Yes. Yeah. The Megatron.
Yeah. Megatron, right?
Yeah. I think Roethlisberger may be a little low. I mean, guy's got.
I agree too.
Yeah. I mean, he's got, does he have 3 wins or 2? I think he's got 3
He had
wins.
2.
I think that's the point of it, Matt. Yeah, he's not a great quarterback. Bart Starr on the list.
Roethlisberger won 3 Super Bowls.
I he
only played in 2.
I think he went to 3 and he won 2, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's kind of like Peyton.
Yeah, I don't think he won 3 Super Bowls. They might have played in 3.
Yeah, I think he went to 3 and only won 2. But I'm not. But because I think they lost the 1 Super Bowl. They lost 1 Super Bowl to the Cowboys, I think.
Let's see if we can find that out.
Look that up for me. I could be off on that. No, that's the year that what's his name? No, that was the guy who went to play quarterback for the Jets. That they lost to the Cowboys that year.
2-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. So again,
6-time Pro Bowl, 2-time NFL passing leader, NFL offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, definitely deserves to be on the list. I might move him down a little bit. I think Kelly deserves to be on here. You go to 4 straight Super Bowls. He had one of the most dynamic offenses of all time. Right off the bat, again, Kurt Warner does not belong on this list. Russell Wilson doesn't belong. I got to be honest with you. I think Sims is a better quarterback than Warren Moon. Moon was a good quarterback. I just don't.
You're taking guys off the list, and that's fine. But does that open up a spot for Warren Moon? Because you opened up 2 or 3 spots.
Yeah, but then I
think that Josh Allen should be on the list of top 25 quarterbacks of all time when he hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl yet.
Then you can take Lamar Jackson off too, though.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. So to me, I'm not disagreeing with you. I would take Russell Wilson. I might take Josh Allen off, Lamar Jackson off. I definitely would add to Eli, Rivers, and I would probably put Sims in there. I think in the 80s, he was right there with the rest of these guys. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that we're missing that's like a no-brainer, but
well, you know what? I want to
Steve Young, even though it wasn't a lot of years, Steve Young had a great career. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anybody else that we could be missing. Green Bay, Matt. What about Green Bay? Again, Bart Starr. I guess he gets the first 2 Super Bowl wins. Not a great quarterback, but Randall Cunningham.
Philip Rivers is on one of the all-time yardage leaders. Matt Ryan, just giving people that ain't on the list.
Yeah.
Eli Manning, Warren Moon is on the list. Fran Tarkenton is on that list. Yardage leaders: Testaverde, Joe Flacco. Drew. Some of these names.
Yeah.
Just because they have 1,000-yard, billion yards passing.
Yeah.
Have made the list, but I'm going to get a more definitive list here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of guys that were great quarterbacks. Mahomes makes my list. I just don't put him at number 3. I'm moving Elway up there or Marino up there. Rodgers should drop down on the list. I think Bradshaw should move way up on the list. I think Brees should move up on the list. Even though Brees only had one Super Bowl appearance, I mean, he was dominant every year. Aikman should be higher on this list. I mean, he just doesn't get to do. Again, I'm not a huge Aikman fan, but boy, oh boy, 3 Super Bowls, and he made a lot of people look really good out there.
Well, listen, just so you know, you got Tom Brady and Brees, Manning, Favre. They're all on the list. Rodgers, Stafford. These are the all-time leaders, yardage leaders. Phillip Rivers is number 80. He's not on the list. Matt Ryan is 9, not on the list. And then after John Elway, they kind of taper off a little bit, and they're in the 40,000s.
Yeah.
High 40s. Don't get me wrong, more than I've thrown for, of course. But, you got Dan Fouts was number 25. He's number 21 all time, 43,000 yards. Joe Montana, only 40,551 yards in his career.
Yeah, different game. You're right.
Yeah, different game, different time. So, I mean, I guess you got to take a lot of other things into, Randall Cunningham, I got to be honest with you, I was thinking of that. He was a dual threat too.
Yeah, again,
wasn't he the first quarterback to break 1,000 yards rushing?
I'm not sure. But, I mean, let's put it this way. Is he better than Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? He's not better than Eli or Rivers or Sims, but Randall Cunningham.
No, but I don't believe he was. But does he deserve to be on the top 25 list? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I have to do some thinking on this one. But it's ridiculous. I mean, I don't understand how you can put some of these guys on the list ahead of guys.
Kurt Warner, number 50 at 32,344. Troy Aikman, number 47 at 32,942 yards.
They ran
so they're looking at an overall body of work.
And that's the way it should be. It should not just be based on how many yards you threw for, how many touchdowns you threw for, how many championships you got. To me, you got to take the whole thing, make a pizza out of it, and serve the whole pie. There's more to the career than how many yards. I mean, a guy like Aikman, he only threw for 32,000 yards, but he had Emmitt Smith who ran for 16,000 yards. So a lot of his yards went to Emmitt Smith running the football. So, it was a different era. That was just at the tail end of that era. And then after that, all these offenses, with Kurt Warner, and they started throwing the football over the place, changed the way the game's played and what you have today. But, I mean, I have a hard time putting some of the newer guys on here, like you said, Jeff, the Allens and the Jacksons.
Part of me doesn't have a problem with it, but this is my problem. A lot of those quarterbacks that are on that top 50 or top 25 list have multiple Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Or multiple Super Bowl appearances. And then when you're looking at Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Dan Fouts, just 3 right off the bat. Warren Moon, that's 4. That without giving it a whole scouring, that never went to a Super Bowl. Does Dan Marino, who only went to 1 Super Bowl and never won? I mean, you can't take it away from him for other things that he did, but he's only went to 1 Super Bowl. Brett Favre only won 1 Super Bowl.
He went to 2. Rodgers only won
John
1.
Elway lost more Super Bowls than he won.
Yep, very true. Jim Kelly lost 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah, but he went to 4 in a row. So
you
twist it around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you go down your list here, and Fouts none, Josh Allen none, Bartstar went to 2, 1, 2, Aikman went to 3, 1, 3, Lamar Jackson none, Roethlisberger went to 2, Kelly went to 4, Tarkenton I think went to 3, never won any, Bradshaw won 4, Stafford's gone to 2 or 3 at this point, Brees went to 1. Starbuck went to at least
Stafford only went to 2, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it's 2. You had 2 with the Rams. 1 he won and 1 they lost, right?
I believe. Yeah. We know he never went to anything with Detroit.
Steve Young went to 2. I think 1 as a starter though. Unitas went to 2. Now those are good names. Those are actually good names. Now Drew Bledsoe, I don't know if he makes my list. Theismann's close. Stabler's close. Greasy's close. different era quarterbacks, but those are great ones. Favre went to 2, Marino went to 1, Elway went to 5, Rodgers went to 1, Peyton went to 3, Mahomes went to 5, Montana, Brady. I mean, it's part of the puzzle. Those are good names. I mean, Theismann, boy, oh boy. I mean, I would put Theismann ahead of Warren Moon for sure. I might even put Theismann ahead of Tarkington. As weird as that sounds.
That's far down on the list, man.
Oh, I'm not saying I put him at 16, but I might put him on the list in place of. I mean, he might just creep in there. Stable was a really good quarterback, and so was Greasy. But boy, different era time there. Those guys, I bet you those guys barely threw for 2,000 yards a year. If you look at their stats.
It was a different, like you said, there's a lot of different errors on this list. But a lot of guys, if you notice, okay, you got Dan Fouts, Warren Moon, Jim Kelly, Tarkenton, Bradshaw, Starbuck, Steve Young, Johnny Unitas, Marino, Elway, and Montana. Kind of like the old timers on that list.
Yeah.
And then as far as modern day era, you got Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Stafford.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, who I don't believe belongs on there. Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
I would consider Brady part of that recent list. I mean, he's been retired for a couple of years, but
5. Yeah.
I wouldn't put him on the old timers list either.
No, you're right. No.
And then
pre-90s, I agree. He's 2000 and forward. You're talking about the guys who were pre-90. Where would you guys put Danny White? Danny White was a really good quarterback. The problem was it kind of came with the downturn of the Cowboys.
He was there after Starbuck and before Aikman, right?
Yes, yeah.
And wasn't he a punter or something at one time?
Yes, he was the punter before he became the quarterback.
Yeah, I remember him playing for a while.
Sure.
I wasn't a huge Cowboy fan, so I don't remember watching much of him. But I remember him being in the league for a while.
Yeah. Oh no, he was definitely
he wasn't a bad quarterback. Danny
White was a really good football player.
Listen, he took the Cowboys to 4 championship games. He wasn't a slouch.
No, definitely.
He was a part of a team, and they played at least one Super Bowl with him, right?
No, I don't think he ever went to the Super Bowl. Their last Super Bowl.
One. He was in the Super Bowl, no?
Well, he was the punter, I believe. If not, he was definitely the backup quarterback when they beat the Broncos. But Starbuck was
okay.
I'm just looking for the line, but Danny White was a good quarterback. I mean, it just maybe came along a little too late. That team got old. He was kind of like Jeff. He was kind of like the bridge between Starbuck and Aikman, because I think Aikman came in 89.
Yeah,
and that Cowboys took off, but he was there. I don't know. I know Steve Pallor was there for a little while before Aikman.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm sorry. Aikman started with the Cowboys 37 years ago.
I believe, 89. Yeah, they won their first Super Bowl in 93, 94.
What happened? Where did that go?
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, this way, I mean, Lawrence Taylor was still knocking people down at that point. So that's how long ago this was.
Yeah, that's but when you think about it, and you're like 1989, a few years ago, 1989 wasn't so far away.
Oh, you're 100% right. So
47 years ago, that's pretty far away.
Yeah, that's pretty far away at this point. So 1989. So
I know our friend hasn't shown up yet, and I bet you he's not gonna today.
Probably not. I would think he'll take the week off. You've tortured him enough this week, I believe.
Me.
I was just chiming on your stuff. I didn't even start anything with him this week.
Me?
Yes.
No. I'm gonna throw I'm just gonna throw a tidbit out every once in a while.
Good.
And while we're talking about quarterbacks, what quarterback had the most passes intercepted in the Super Bowl?
Oh boy.
Right now he's on this list.
I'm gonna say it was Tom Brady. Am I right? Tom Brady?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said. You just said I was going to say it's, and then it sounded like you didn't say anything.
Oh, Tom Brady.
No, John Elway with 8.
In one Super Bowl or all time? All time.
Super Bowl over the lifetime of his Super Bowl career.
Okay.
Yeah, if it was 8, I don't think that he would have been on the team next year.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I guess Brady, because he played so many, I thought maybe cumulatively he would, but
and then
fun fact.
This one has to lead into the other because you brought it up earlier about Phil Simms.
Yep.
Did you know that he had the highest completion percentage in a Super Bowl game?
That's correct.
22 versus who?
That would have been against the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, that's correct. That was
correct. 22 of 25 for 230 something.
Well, I don't have the thing, but it was 88%.
22 of 25. He had a Bavaro drop, had a overthrown pass. Now one of the best. Also was the very first guy to utter the words, "I'm going to Disneyland."
Oh, really?
It was the very first guy. It was the very first time Disney did that. I don't even know if Disney still does it, to be honest with you.
I thought they still did.
I'm not sure. I've said they might. I have no idea. I don't know if they still do that at the end of the game. But Phil Simms was the first guy to ever do it, and it was after the '86 Super Bowl, and Phil Simms was the first guy to utter the words, "I'm going to Disneyland."
Was that scripted or he?
Yes.
Came at the top of his head.
No. So what happens is they started that year. So they didn't go to the. He happened to be the MVP, but they picked 2 guys before the game, one from each team. And if your team won, the thing they were going to, they would go up to you and suppose they were going to ask you, Phil Simms, now that you won the Super Bowl, what do you do next? And
Okay.
And he says that. Now, the only guy who I think has ever said something different was O.J. Anderson after the '90 Super Bowl. They went to O.J. and said, "O.J., you just won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do now?" And O.J. said, "We won this one for the troops." Because that was when we had the whole
Desert Storm and stuff.
Desert Storm. So I believe he's the only guy in the Disney commercial who's never uttered the words, "I'm going to Disneyland."
Wow.
So just a little tidbit for you there, pal, just to give you a little something. But we got a football game. Let's throw a little stuff out there, Jeff, for the Super Bowl. Get our picks. I do want to talk about Mike McCarthy to the Steelers and Saleh and Dable teaming up. I want to talk about let's first off. So I've been hearing a lot this week from people saying, "Well, it's a rematch of the first game 10 years ago, whatever it was." And I said, Steve Bartkowski was the Polish Rifle, cannon of an arm.
No. That was Ron Jaworski was the Polish Rifle.
I think I want to tell you. I almost think you're wrong. I'm pretty sure that moniker went to Steve Bartkowski, but we'd have to look that up. You may be right because Jaworski obviously was, but I believe Bartkowski was the Polish Rifle.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of Ron Jaworski,
yeah.
Here's something I found out. When we had to go for my wife's daughter's birthday party a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to my wife's first husband. He owns a golf course in Jersey, and Ron Jaworski is involved with one of the golf courses down there.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's a big golfer.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, he's
Ron Jaworski was nicknamed Jaws.
Yes, Steve Bartkowski, I believe, was the Polish Rifle.
I have to look that up now. I'm
okay.
But go on.
All right, so. But people keep talking about this is a revenge game. This is a rematch, and here's the thing: it's a completely different teams. I mean, regardless of the names on the front of the jerseys, say Seahawks and Patriots, there's not one player, not one coach, and I believe other than the owner of the Patriots, I don't think there's anybody who's still around from the first game. So this is not a revenge game. This is not part 2. This is not. We're gonna come back and we're gonna get a little payback. This isn't 2 years later, 3 years later. This is a decade later. So I think people should take the revenge part out of this. Nobody's around from that, Jeff. Would you agree, or do you?
Yeah, I could agree. And it was Ron Jaworski is the Polish Rifle.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I put in Polish Rifle and he came right up.
Okay. But there's many stories here. Obviously, we've already talked about the Sam Darnold redemption tour. I think Sam Darnold's already done that. Whether he wins or loses. Now, if Sam Darnold goes out there and he shits the bed, it's the debate is going to live. If he goes out there and he sees ghosts and and don't forget the I saw ghosts was against the Patriots when he was a Jet. So if he goes out there and he has a terrible game, fine. You'll still hear the debate, Jeff. But if Sam Darnold goes out there and has a good football game, even if he wins or loses this game, I think the Sam Darnold is a bust, is out the window. I think he's the new Jared Goff at this point.
Well, let's not jump the gun here and see what happens, and we'll know that in a couple days. I think that'll definitely help him, of course, more than hurt him. Would he be the new Jared Goff? I think he'd have to do a few other things before I could.
What has Jared Goff done? Jared Goff's not been to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff's, he's got to an NFC Championship game. So does this kid.
Jared Goff had more than 2 years of good.
Okay.
I could not just turn around, because don't forget, last year he played good during the season and then he crashed and burned in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, again, no problem. I'm with you. Again, if he goes out there, shits the bed. But I think at this point, as long as he doesn't completely regress Super Bowl next year, I think that Sam Darnold as a bust is just, bunk at this point. So I think it's a fun story. Again, at some point, I thought, what do you guys think about Mark Brunell? Mark Brunell is an interesting quarterback. That's a guy who had a very solid career. Very, very solid career with the Jaguars.
Jacksonville, and then he went to Washington after that?
He bounced a little bit. Yeah, I think he was with Washington for a little while. But Mark Brunell was a hell of a quarterback. Yeah, that's an interesting one, Matt. Steve Grogan had a good career. There's a few guys out there who's had some good careers. Outside of the guys we've named.
Yeah, he was with Green Bay Packers from 93-94, Jaguars 95 to 2003, Redskins 2004 to 2007, the Saints 2008 and 9, and the Jets 2010 and 2011.
Oh yeah, sure, I forgot about that. Yeah. Again, people keep talking about this being a rematch of a classic. It's not a rematch. I know it's the same two teams, but this cannot be a rematch. There's nobody back here, so it takes it out.
No, it's not. But you know why they're calling it a rematch? It's recent history as far as them two playing. They're teams that haven't been to the Super Bowl in over 50 years. The Jets, the Vikings. There's teams over 50 years since they won a Super Bowl. The Packers and a couple others, and so for these two teams, in essence of two teams playing one another, it actually hasn't happened very many times, has it? That there's been a rematch.
No, I mean not in a long time. I mean, it seemed like the Cowboys and the Steelers played a ton of times, and
didn't the Cowboys and Broncos play a couple times?
Yep, they did. Yep, that is true. I think the Cowboys and the Bills played a couple of times, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to go back and look at Denver. Cowboys and the Bills played 2 in a row, actually, 93 and 94.
Okay.
And got crushed both times. Let me ask you this question. So that was an all-time classic game, the Pats and the Seahawks. Actually, my question is, Jeff, is that the worst lost Super Bowl of all time, or is the Falcons loss to the Patriots the worst loss?
Oof, dude, there's a couple that I could say like hard losses to digest. How about the game that fell a yard short?
Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, wide right. The Buffalo Bills losing on Scott Norwood. Matt,
I guess you'd have to go.
Bernie Kosar deserves to be on this list. Absolutely right.
I guess you would have to give it to the Seahawks losing to the Patriots with a pass on this 1 yard line, 2 yard line, with seconds left in the game. Yeah, that.
I think that's probably the most disheartening, worst loss in the Super. I mean, the Falcon one is bad because you're up 25-3, and you wind up losing that game because of bad clock management, bad everything, bad decision making. That's a terrible one. And you're right, the one where the Titans got tackled at the 1 yard line, that was a great football game.
That was a great game, though. That was a good
great
game.
football game. Absolutely right. But I would tell you, to me, the way that game played, they had the big pass to Lockett down the right sideline. They get down to the 1 yard line with Lynch, and everybody in the world thought the game's over. Lynch is going to score. There's no way they're going to stop him. They got 2 or 3 tries, whatever it was, and they threw the football, and he throws the interception. And while I blame Russell Wilson for sure, you threw the ball, that's on the coaching staff. If that point,
that to me, yes, he has to shoulder some blame for that.
Absolutely, 100%.
Got to pin that almost completely on the coaches for calling that play.
100%.
You had Marshawn Lynch. All he had to do was fall forward, and he would have scored a touchdown at that point in time.
There is no doubt in my mind that is. Yeah. So to me, that to me is one of the most that's the most disheartening game of all time. I mean, you're going to be back-to-back Super Bowl champions. I mean, everything is there for you to win this thing, and you throw a football that you have no business throwing, and you just run it right into Patriot loss. So I'm putting that one as the worst loss. I was talking about, did you happen to put together a top 5 Super Bowl best?
I didn't have time today.
I did. So I'm going to run.
If you had it, we'd just go off of yours.
Yeah, let's run off mine. I'm going to give you my 5 worst Super Bowls of all time, and then I'm going to see if I can put it up on the screen for you so you can see them all. So let me share this with you. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in and hanging with me and Jeff for a little while. We're talking Super Bowl.
While you're doing that, here's another quick trivia question for you,
Sure,
Tom. How many punt returns for touchdowns have there been in the Super Bowl?
How many punt returns for a touchdown have been in Super Bowl? I have no idea. I can't think of any.
0.
Oh, okay.
Never won yet in the Super Bowl.
That's interesting. And the fact that it's Super Bowl 60 really nailed me this week. Like, I was sitting there this week and I went, what Super Bowl is this again? And, I went, holy shit, this is Super Bowl 60.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So, the one score 43-8. Yes, that was Seattle and Denver. Seattle won that game. That was one of the worst football games I've ever watched.
I remember that one. I remember that one. Yeah, that was a bad one too.
Yeah, that was over from the beginning. If everybody remembers, I think it was the second play of the game was a snap over Peyton Manning's head. That game was played in MetLife Stadium, the Meadowlands. And it snowed that day. It was a perfect day for a football game. And that just went from there was just no way that Denver could win that game. There's just no way possible. So, but I'll start off my list here, Jeff. My 5th worst Super Bowl game. Now, these are games that I remember. I watched. I have vivid memories of. So that to me, that's what makes it so bad. And that would be Cowboys-Bills Super Bowl, number 28. Super Bowl 28. That was Cowboys 52, Buffalo 17.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah, I believe that was out in California, and I was in California. I was visiting my brother at the time, that was the worst. I've been watching the Super Bowl at his apartment, basically by myself, because he had band practice, and I stayed to watch the Super Bowl, and it was over very quickly. So that to me is the 5th worst Super Bowl of all time. The next one would have been a Super Bowl that I believe you and I watched together with all the boys back in the day. And that would have been the Chargers 49ers.
I was not there for that.
You weren't there for that one?
No, I wasn't.
We played football down at which we had done basically for a few years.
I know we saw the Cincinnati San Francisco one.
Yes, yeah.
That one I know we watched. We watched it in Joey's house.
Yes, that one we watched at Joey's house.
The other one, the Chargers, and the Niners.
Yeah,
I remember watching that at my friend's job.
Oh, okay. I think I watched that also at Joey's house. I think we did a couple years of doing those. Niners, Chargers, 49-26. Wasn't even that close a game. Terrible football game. That's my number 2. Or number 4 worst game of all times. Ravens Giants, and not for the reason you think because the Giants lost. Just the Giants were terrible. It wasn't a football game.
They got fucking spanked.
34-7. I mean, it just was a terrible football game to watch.
Yep.
So to me, that's the number 3. The next one was just a snooze fest for me. Looking for it right now. Steelers.
How about New England and Atlanta? The collapse in New England, Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, well, to me that was a good football game to a certain extent. I mean, it was back and forth. There was a lot of stuff to it. So to me, while I agree with you, it's a terrible loss and a terrible way to play a football game. I didn't think that was a bad football game.
Just because of the collapse. I mean, you're up.
Yeah, what, very true.
28-0 or 31-0 at halftime, and then you fucking blow it. It's just Jesus Christ.
The other one, 2006 Super Bowl, Steelers beat the Seattle Seahawks 21-10. That was a terrible football game for me. And the all-time worst one was Niners Broncos back in the 80s. Niners Broncos. Yeah, it was 55-10, 1990 Super Bowl. That was one of the worst games I've ever watched. We had watched the year before, 89. You saying was Frisco, Cincinnati, 2016.
Yeah, I remember that was at Joey's house. I think we went out in the front of his house and played at halftime.
Probably right. That would sound just like us for sure. But so that's the 5 worst, the 5 best for me. Giants, Pats, either one is number 5. Rams Titans is an all-time classic game. I had no rooting interest, but that was a game that you didn't get off your seat, Jeff, ever. And that was a great football game.
That very good game.
Pats Seahawks, again, terrible way to end the game, but that was a great football game all the way through. Pats Falcons, again, I have it as a great game because of the comeback. They just out-coached them. It was a great football game for strategy. And my favorite one, and I think it's to me the classic football game of all time. It's Giants Bills, 1991 Super Bowl. Scott Norwood. To me, it's the greatest game plan defensively of all time, and offensively. If you think about it, the Giants held the clock forever. Played a 2-5 defense. Nobody ever did that. They rushed 2 players, completely took the best offensive football apart. What a great football game, a great ending. To me, that's the best Super Bowl I've seen to date, and there's been a lot of good ones, Jeff. So that's my list.
Hold on, I want to yawn real quick.
Oh, boy. It's okay. You notice I didn't say anything about Super Bowl 3.
No, not at all. I was in a fucking bassinet someplace shitting myself when Super Bowl 3 was on. But when I don't want to single anyone out, but when a team's fans hold on to a victory, that was because the kicker on the other team fucked up.
It's a great football game. It's a great football game.
No, it wasn't. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
Bill Belichick, you know the game plan Bill Belichick put together for that Super Bowl.
Bill Belichick had nothing at all to do with that victory. That was all Scott Norwood either getting paid off,
you know, that
he just was fucking crippled and had cerebral palsy.
Buffalo Bills were the highest scoring offense, and they couldn't score 21 points in the game. The Giants, Bill Belichick's game plan for that Super Bowl.
The Giants scored
the Hall of Fame.
3 extra points, whatever it was.
How many points do you need to win by? Just one.
Really, Tom?
Just one. Just
really?
one.
You're going to be that much of a jerk off on your own show?
Yes, on our show. I have every right on this show as 50-50 partner in this show to be the biggest jerk off I want to be. So yes.
I can't even fucking say anything. Whatever.
Oh boy. All right. So 8:15, Tiff and Tom, where we'll give our Super Bowl predictions before the show is over. Jeff, what's the game plan for Super Bowl Sunday? Do you go out? I know you're working. Do you go out and go shopping afterwards? Do you load up some stuff? I know your wife makes the shrimp cocktail and some chili.
Chili, yeah. She just made chili the other day, last week. So I don't know if chili is definitely on the menu this year. I hope it is. Oh, chili is delicious. Either way, she will make something good that'll definitely be worth coming home to.
Okay.
And I don't know. We didn't talk about it. And I actually don't even know she realizes that the Super Bowl is this week because she's been kind of quiet about it.
Okay.
So and this week, Saturday, we're going to the St. George Theater if we don't freeze to death because they're having an Ozzy show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a band called Crazy Train. So
okay, very nice.
I don't know if we're going out to eat first or what the case is, but we're going to see that show. So I don't know what her plan is, to be honest with you. I got to talk to her about it and see what she says.
There you go. Now, will you make it a special effort to sit down at 6 o'clock or whatever time kickoff is and watch the game? I know you're not a watching game guy, but this is the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm watching the game.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm thinking my job. They get all nervous now because of snow and call for mandatory overtime.
Right.
And I already told my boss, it's like, listen, I says, I don't give a shit if the Pope says I got to work mandatory overtime. I'm going home and watch the fucking Super Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm not working. I don't care who says I got to stay.
There you go. Good for
so
you.
You can do whatever you got to do. Matter of fact, you want to laugh?
Uh-huh.
I shouldn't say this on the air, should I?
No, probably not.
Oh, I'm going to say it anyway. Fuck it. I almost got in trouble at work today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's this fucking jerk off. He called up looking for fucking something today, and I seen him. I knew it was him, and I wasn't gonna fucking answer the phone.
I
knew it was him, and I got so mad. And he answered. I was like, "No, fuck you!" And then that was it. I just hung up. So, I don't know. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, Matt, that's a nice spread. I don't know. I mean, I might go to my dad's this year to watch the game. I think my uncle's coming down.
What is 2 degrees on Saturday? Oh, it's going to be, the temperature is going to suck.
Yeah, no, the temperature this week is going to be terrible. So I tend to go out. I have to work tomorrow. I'm going to stop. There's a really nice Italian deli. It's actually an Italian supermarket in Staten Island, right by the bridge.
Bella's or something like that.
La Bella.
Yeah.
They have really nice stuff. So I'm probably going to stop there, pick up a bunch of stuff. Do you know, last weekend I made my own homemade fresh mozzarella.
How did that come?
Well, I have to tell you, I was a little disappointed. It actually came out like mozzarella. It tasted like mozzarella. It was a little too bland for me.
Probably need a little pinch of salt.
No, well, you do it. Like, I put a little salt on it when it was making, but you put it, and after you get it all folded and molded, it's warm. You put it in cold water for 15 minutes, and you're supposed to salt it up, and the salt drains into the mozzarella, but it was a little too bland. But the fact that I actually got it done, this is my second attempt, and it was mozzarella. I mean, it was a little bland.
Did it get better on the second attempt?
Yeah. Well, the first attempt didn't work at all. What happened was when I got it, you have to squeeze it, this to that, and you're supposed to put it in cheesecloth and squeeze all the more of the way you squeeze out of it, the better. It starts to form itself into the ball of mozzarella.
How big of mozzarella did you manage to get?
I used a half a gallon of milk. I got a cheese ball about that big.
Oh, so about the size of a baseball.
Yeah, maybe a little bit bigger than a baseball. So it was enough for 2 people. My wife had some. She said it was good. She said it's not, but I got to do a little more research. But anyway, I'll stop at the Italian store on the way home. So just in case we don't go out on Saturday or Sunday, and we'll have a little feast, or we'll take it over to my parents if we decide to go there. And but I will watch the game. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is going to be a good football game, and we'll have some fun with the show next week. We break it down and basically put the football season to bed until we start talking free agents. And there's a lot of excitement about the Giants, even the Jets. There's a lot of excitement now with Frank Reich now is the offensive coordinator.
Is Frank Reich coach in waiting?
Some people have said that. I don't know the answer to that. I would say the answer is no. I would say if Frank Reich was interested in being the head coach of the football Jets, he shouldn't be their offensive coordinator, because if it goes bad, there's no way in the world he would get the job. I mean, unless the offense was amazing and the rest of the team sucked, I would think, which then you wouldn't suck and you probably wouldn't get the coach fired.
I can tell you exactly how that's going to play out.
Go ahead.
And I think you'll agree with me. I think what's going to end up happening is that if Aaron Glenn, say at any time, is 2-8, 3-8, something like that, I think they fire him. They let Frank Reich coach the team for the rest of the year. They name him coach at the end of the year. He gets 3 first-round draft picks the next year. Because don't forget, he's going to be there when they go to make some picks this year. So he's going to have some input. I would at least think he was going to have some input. And then next year he can have 3 first-round picks. Why not? I'm not saying the guys, because his NFL record has been kind of spotty.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. Yeah.
But, it's just nice to know that maybe, but, like he's been on other teams. He's been the coach of other teams. Is he capable of taking it to the next level? I see it.
I think Frank Reich is the typical, should stick to what he does well, which is he's a good offensive coordinator. Not everybody's a head coach. And I think I just heard that Andy Reid rehired Eric Bieniemy, who was supposed to be the greatest in the world. He disappeared for a few years. He's resurfaced back with Andy Reid as the offensive coordinator, even though Andy Reid calls the plays anyway.
Tom, I got to take a leak real quick.
So, no problem. So, again, there's a lot of this will be the last real football show. After that, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. But baseball's around the corner. We talked a little bit of Yankees, Mets earlier. And we'll get to we'll break down the off season as it happens. We don't do too much on the combine here. I don't believe too much in the combine. I think it's a waste of time. I'm sorry. I just do. I get it. It's nice to go down and meet the players and talk to them and all of that stuff. But, I don't really care how fast an offensive lineman runs in a straight line, in shorts and a tank top. I just don't care. To me, it has nothing to do with football. It doesn't. An offensive lineman will almost never run 40 yards straight in a line, ever. I don't care how fast you are. If you're a linebacker, I want to know how fast you are side to side. I don't care how fast you run straight. I get you can run straight, but nobody runs straight unimpeded. Other than maybe a running back if he gets in the open or a wide receiver or somebody like that. I don't care. I think it's the biggest waste of time and one of the most overhyped things you'll ever watch is the combine. 20 backup. That's a good one. I don't think you come up with 20. I don't think you could ever come up with a list of 20 backup quarterbacks who were great. It's an interesting list. I'm going to mark that down. So I'm going to for next week. Back up QBs. All right, I'm gonna see if we get to unless you're Larry Allen. But even then, Matt, again, to me, I don't care how fast an offensive lineman or a defensive tackle, even a corner, I could care less how fast those guys run a straight line. They don't run in a straight line. Do you want to tell me how fast they swing the hips? You want to, there are things that I care about. To me, it's their personality. It's their game films. That's what matters. What's on tape? What did I watch? What did I see when you played against the best of the best in college? That's what I want to know. How you play, how a quarterback throws to a receiver with nobody rushing him. These pro days are the biggest waste of time ever. Who cares? You're throwing to your receiver in an empty stadium with nobody rushing you while you're wearing shorts and a T-shirt. Why do I care? The combine is the biggest waste of time. The combine, we make fun of it. It's about all we do with the combine. We look forward to free agency. We'll look forward to the draft. We do the draft here every year. This year, we'll be done early. Got the Jets at 2, the Giants at 5, and after that, who cares?
Well, the Jets at 16.
Yeah, that's true. We might be awake for 6. I'm not sure we'll be awake for 16.
Let me ask you something. Let's say draft night, right? We're watching the draft, and all of a sudden the Raiders are on the clock with the first pick, and either they trade it to somebody else, they just possible anticipations, or they pass on that kid from Indiana.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen at that point in time if that's what ends up happening?
We'd have to put a jacket on because hell would have frozen over.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can't think of. I mean, unless the kid blows out his knee in some sort of workout, I can't imagine he's not the number one pick in the draft by the Raiders. I think the Jets are in a position to do anything they want.
Of course,
if they want to trade down, they'll be able to trade. Now, I don't know if anybody's trading up unless you're like the kid Reese from Ohio State or there's somebody you gotta have. To me, this is one of those drafts where if you're in the top 10, you're coming out there with a solid player. Now, again, if there's a specific player you think somebody else is going to take them, but the Jets are in a good spot. They're either going to take a huge need at number 2, so whether it's a corner or a lineman. Although I don't think they'll take
a lot of what I mean that they are connected to that linebacker from Ohio State.
Yeah, he may be the best player in the draft. To be honest with you, he might be the best player in the draft.
If I had $1 for every time I heard the Jets managed to get the best player in the draft and still sucked.
Yeah,
it's been unbelievable.
Yeah, again, I to me though, I think that would be a huge help. They really need help on the defensive side of the football. And if I were the Jets, now again, taking a linebacker, people can say, "Oh, you don't take a linebacker number 2. You got to be." No, that guy I think is a difference maker. I hate Ohio State, but boy, that guy just smacks people around. If I were the Jets and I wanted a sure thing, I would take him. He immediately makes you better next year. That's my opinion.
And what do you think of that Ty Simpson from fucking Alabama?
Ty Simpson should never be drafted in the first round. I think Ty Simpson should stay in college. But by the way, before I forget, did you see that there's a kid playing in Miami who's going back next year for his 8th season of college football? I mean, are we kidding? I mean, at this point, does the term student athlete even exist? I mean, just it's the most.
What's he studying to become a doctor?
I mean, usually used to be you get maybe 5 years. You get 4 years of college. You redshirt 1 year, so you're playing 4, but you're in there for 5, right? You redshirt your freshman or your sophomore year, or you got hurt. Then they had the 1 year for COVID, so you could stay in college for 6 years. They're actually finding ways to stick around for 8. Why? Because these guys are making a ton of money, right? They don't have to do anything. There's no, there's a big off season. It's like the pros where you're constantly working out, you're constantly in mini camps and all that. But it's embarrassing at this point to call it collegiate sports. I think I don't know what you call it, the semi-pro league, minor leagues. I don't know what you call it, Jeff. But the fact that there is a kid who next year will be in college for his 8th year.
Well, not for nothing. At this point in time, he's not a kid.
No.
He may be collecting Social Security.
Yeah.
He's got to be what, like 26, 25, 26, 27 years old?
I would think the answer to that is yes. I would think the answer to that has got to be at least 26.
What's his name? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know if I wrote it down. I definitely plays for the Miami Hurricanes. I can tell you in a second. Matt probably knows. Miami U player 8 years. Cam, is that Cam?
Austin Beck?
No.
He's the Miami Hurricane.
Mohamed Toure plans to return for his rare 8th year of eligibility. Damn. He started his career at Rutgers in 2019, Jeff. 2019. I don't know. There's a tight end from Miami who's this was in 2024, was his 9th year senior, tight end Cam McCormick. But Miami linebacker Mohamed.
Even if they were having a decent career in college, and I mean, why not make the jump up to the pros where you can make real money?
I don't know. Maybe because you're going against guys, you're going against the best of the best, and your career can end in a year, 2 years. You get found out. Maybe just again, I think it's an easier life in college. You don't have to. Obviously, you're done with school.
The game is different in college, of course. We all know that. But you know something? The best of the best are leaving college and going to the NFL if one of them happens to be lingering around somewhere in the college ranks, and you and him meet in that one part of the field at the wrong place and time, it don't matter. You're not going back out there next week or ever again, possibly.
Very possible, and very surprising we did not hear from our good buddy Frank Catalano tonight.
You know what? I got another one for you, man. You don't mind?
Go jump in, Joe. You said you jumped in
when he comes back.
Yep.
Interesting tidbits. I found interesting. I love them, to tell you the truth. Which way you want to go? You want to go yardage? You want to go points? What do you tell me?
Go points.
Oh, points. Most points are a half or a quarter. Any idea who it might be?
Most points for a half or a quarter.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say it's the 49ers in 1985.
No. Most points for a half and a quarter were the Washington Redskins 35 versus the Denver Broncos in the second quarter of Super Bowl 22.
Yep, 1988. Washington 42, Broncos 10.
The most rushing yards in a game was 280 by Washington versus, any idea?
Denver Broncos.
Oh, my God. Look at that.
Tim Smith, right? 201 yards.
Yeah, that I had that somewhere. Most receiving touchdowns in a game was done twice.
Was it against the Broncos?
One of them was, yes,
okay.
But it was the same player that did it twice.
Was it Jerry Rice?
Jerry Rice, correct.
Wow.
Most rushing yards, you got that. That was Washington versus Denver.
Yep.
And then we most points in a game.
San Francisco 55 over
the Broncos.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Frank would have got those, man. I know he would have got those.
Frank would have. Yes, he would have definitely got those. Yes.
We'll keep that. We're going over that list again. He thinks he can hide.
Yes, he definitely. Before we get back to football, and we'll end it with the Super Bowl picks. So thanks for tuning in. The Olympics start. I'm a big fan of the Olympics, and I know you're not a big Olympics fan either way, right? You're not summer, winter. You don't really care.
You know what? I would watch. I don't have a problem watching the Winter Olympics. The Summer Olympics, they kind of bore me with the track and field. I'm not a big fan on that. But to be honest with you, dude, I forgot that they're even on, if they're even on right now.
No, they start Friday night.
And two, I got so many other things going with having to learn songs for like 19 different bands. I can't be watching anything on TV. What was this? Can you tell me who were the only duo MVPs in the Super Bowl? Fuck.
Yeah, that was Harvey Martin and Randy White. Super Bowl 10, 11. That was Dallas, Denver, right? 70, Super Bowl 12, sorry.
Randy White. Defensive guys as...
Yeah, really? Randy White and Harvey Martin were... am I right, man? I'm almost positive I'm right on that one. They were the only duo MVPs.
How two defensive players?
Yeah, they
had some game.
They crushed. Guess who they crushed in that game? By the way, Jeff.
What's that?
Guess who they beat up on in that game?
I'm going to take a Denver.
Good call, Jeff. The Denver Broncos. That's correct.
You know, this isn't as much fun unless he's here.
Yeah, it would be much more fun if he was listening. He might be listening, he's just refusing to comment.
Oh, right now he's probably home smashing everything if he's listening. But if he's listening,
yes.
Tiki Barber is definitely the better fucking running back.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I don't know what he's smoking, but all right. Tiki Barber's last 5 years were better than his whole career. I don't know why he gets crazy on it, but it's simple math. Anyway, the Olympics start. Lots of stuff going on. It's in Milan. The hockey should be great. U.S.-Canada is going to be an incredible game. I don't know if they
NHL players.
NHL players.
Are they shutting down the NHL?
Yes, the NHL is on hiatus after Thursday. I think a lot of the players are already gone. There's a couple of teams left, I think, playing the last couple of days. The big U.S. team led by both Kachuk brothers and Austin Matthews versus Sidney Crosby and McKinnon and not McKinnon.
And the Russian team is unable to play.
Yes, the Russian team is unable to play, But this should be a great hockey tournament. Craig Morton was their quarterback. Yes, Craig Morton was their quarterback in that Super Bowl. That is correct.
Craig Morton. He was on the losing team, which was
the Denver Broncos.
There you go. Damn. See how this ties into one another?
Yes, the first of many lost Super Bowls for the Denver Broncos.
5 to be.
But yeah, I mean, you got to me. I love the just all that the slalom skiing, which Lindsey Vonn. I don't know if you saw this, Jeff.
She wiped out or something, right?
And she tore her ACL and basically has no ACL, and yet she's going to compete. So my question to you is, if you're Lindsey Vonn and you are obviously the best. She's a little older for a skier.
She's early 40s.
Yeah. But she qualified. She was actually the best downhill skier, I believe, in the country. But realistically, does she have a chance to win a sport that is so demanding on your legs? Do you think she's being selfish by going out there and competing with almost no chance of being successful, and should give up her spot to another person who has a chance to bring a medal home for her country? Or is she deserving to give it a shot for all the hard work?
You know what? I don't know much about women's skiing other than Lindsey Vonn. But is it a point that maybe they don't have anybody better, that she is the best option?
Maybe.
And Matt said for you to tell me what list.
Yeah, what Matt said, and I don't think it's possible, but he said to try to come up with a list of the top 20 backup quarterbacks of all time.
Wow.
That's a tough one.
That's going to be rough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm going to give it a shot. I got it on my list, and I'm going to try to come up with
it. I'm already thinking of a couple right off the bat.
Well, here's it. Let's get the criteria right. Is it guys who are lifelong backups, or like a guy like Mark Brunell we talked about before, who was, a borderline great quarterback who became a backup later in his career? Does he have to be like lifelong?
You would have to spend most of your career as a backup to be considered a backup quarterback.
Okay.
Now, if a guy plays 10 years and he started 2, I don't think that means that he's a starter. I would say that he was a backup quarterback, and he had his moment to shine, but he went back to being I wouldn't say Geno Smith, who spent some of his career as a backup, would be considered in that category.
No, to me, I'm thinking guys like Jeff Hostetler.
Yeah, Jeff Hostetler, maybe a couple others.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know there's a few guys out there. I mean, we're gonna kind of go through it and come up with a John Makowski, the Magic Man.
I don't know if 20 though. That's a big number, man.
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna guess at best. I'm gonna come up with 10, but I'm gonna go through the list of guys who are career backups and see. There's a few guys who've come off the bench and they've had big games, but could never be the guy. So Frank Reich is a good indication that Frank Reich was a backup for most of his career. Had a couple big games for the Buffalo Bills, but he was a career backup. So he'll probably make my list. So we'll.
I don't want to keep mentioning names now, but real quick, Nick Foles.
Yeah, there's a good one. Sure.
Would you consider him a career backup?
I would say he had, again, he had a couple years where he started, but for the most part, Nick Foles was a backup quarterback. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a good example of a guy who got a chance to sign, had a big Super Bowl win, got another contract, and then basically faded into anonymity after that.
Yeah.
So that's me next week's list. Super Bowl. Jeff, I'll give you an odd one. The Steelers are the model of consistency, right? They've had 3 coaches up till now over their 60 years plus of existence. They've always taken the next young defensive coordinator. They've always built that way with Cowher and Tomlin after Chuck Noll. And then this time around, they take a 60-something-year-old offensive guy and failed coach Mike McCarthy. And can you explain the sudden change of a franchise who lived on basically having the same coach for 20 years, going with a guy who's lucky to be here for 3 years?
Well, I think that the powers that be in Pittsburgh feel as though that they have a team that's a piece or two away from being a serious contender, and that they want to keep their coaching at a high standard. They've been lucky with the coaches that they had, the success that they've had.
Yep.
I guess Mike McCarthy, he has a Super Bowl, at least a Super Bowl appearance. Didn't he win a Super Bowl in Green Bay?
with Rodgers, yes.
Yeah, so you have somebody that's been there before that knows how to coach and get to the Super Bowl. Maybe they feel as though that this will be a perfect pairing, or maybe they want Rodgers back, and maybe they think this guy will lure him back for a year. I don't know. A lot of teams have reasons, but let me ask you this: I heard a lot of the names that were mentioned, and a lot of them I did not know.
Yeah, a lot of them. You're right. A lot of people didn't know. Yeah.
When you're talking about Phillip Rivers coming this close to being the coach in Buffalo, who never coached on any level before.
Well, he's been a high school coach for the last few years.
Yeah, but I mean, high school.
I get it.
Is that how you want to? If you think this team has a chance.
And the funny part was they didn't knock him out of contention. He basically stepped away from it. He decided he didn't want to take the job. It wasn't that he was offering it to him yet. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And the fact that they fired McDermott and kept his offensive coordinator really is baffling. I know that they want to try to make it easy, and maybe Josh Allen had a lot to say about it, but you've underachieved offensively, really, you've defensively also, but you've underachieved offensively. You fire the coach for all of it, and then you keep his offensive coordinator. Is a little baffling. I hope Joe Brady turns into something, but boy, oh boy.
Mind that. Well, that's all true. Everything you just said is 100% true. You're also kind of handcuffing the new coach, who may turn around and say that he wants, this is my offensive coordinator. We've been coming up through the ranks together. I trust this guy. He thinks like me. We have share the same mindset. Now I can't have him. So now what do you do? Do you make him your quarterback coach, your bench coach, your field coach? What? That somebody like that is going to get a title. And then what are you going to say to the other guy? You're not calling plays,
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. And then again, obviously the last two spots with Clint Kubiak. I know Matt's high on Clint Kubiak going to the Raiders. And then Nathaniel Hackett, the old Jet offensive coordinator, got the head spot at the Arizona Cardinals, which,
I don't understand that, man.
Oof, yeah, I don't think anybody did. It was a very interesting. You know what it is? They just ran out of candidates. And I'll tell you a funny one. I don't know how this one's going to work out, but your good friend Robert Saleh got a new job as the Titans head coach, and his first thing was to hire Brian Daboll as his offensive coordinator.
I saw that, and I'm happy for Robert Saleh. I liked him as a Jets coach, and I'm not going to say I don't think he overachieved. I think he was slowly building a team. I think it went too slow, to be honest with you, and I'm glad to see him get another shot at it. I think he deserves another shot. He won 7 games with Zach Wilson, man. Zach Wilson, 7 games.
Yeah, I think the thing that did him in was I think the team started to fall apart, but his defense fell apart. And as the defensive guru coach, I think that was his was his undoing. That and listen, and again, I don't blame him. They cannot get it to work with any quarterback. They could not get the offense unhinged and going. Would I have fired him in the middle of that year? I would not have. I would have given him the rest of the year. I don't think he was a good offensive. I don't think he was a good plays X's and O's guy. I think he's one of kind of like a Dan Campbell type where he's a good motivator. I think guys play hard for him, especially on defense. But this is an interesting one.
Aaron Rodgers undermined him, man. I'm sorry.
I would agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I think you body language wise, I think things he said and did. I think Aaron Rodgers didn't like him for whatever reason, and that they at that point they were so desperate for a quarterback they were just going to give him anything he wanted, and that was it.
I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it another 1,000 times. That picture of Aaron Rodgers on the field pushing him away and the look on his face, to me, said it all.
Yeah, no,
it was not good from then on.
Couldn't agree with you more. I think it's a shame that it wound up that way. Why am I looking at that?
No.
Okay, that's why. All right. But yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know. I like Dable. I think Dable is a good offensive coordinator. I'm not a fan of that team's structure. I don't think Cam Ward's a great quarterback, but I didn't think much of Caleb Williams, and Ben Johnson did a great job turning his career around. So we'll see if Cam Ward and Brian Dable can put some sort of offense together, and if Saleh can be successful down there. I mean, they're itching for a win. I just think it's a really odd. You have the ex-Giant, ex-Jet head coaches now teaming up in Tennessee. So we'll see how that works out this year. But I thought that was the.
It is odd, but you want to know something? If it works, good for them.
Yeah, no,
100%. If it doesn't work, these guys will be hard pressed to be fucking coaching in Pop Warner next year.
Well, Saleh's that guy, kind of like the North. Matt brought up North Turner, and I think that's a smart comparison. Robert Saleh might be a defensive coordinator, where you have Vic Fangio, you're 60-something years old, you're still in the game, and you're calling defenses for your fifth team. I mean, Robert Saleh took a 49er defense this year that was decimated, and he kept them competitive.
That entire team, if they made it past Seattle, I think I would have put everything on them to win the fucking Super Bowl.
I wouldn't argue with you. They just ran out of bodies. They ran out of tricks in the bag of tricks. So, but Saleh may just be the guy who just should take it and say, I'm a defensive coordinator, and that's who I am. Now we'll see. He'll get a couple years here in Tennessee, and we'll see if they can turn this into something. And if they do, then the Jets will look foolish, and it'll be another one of those the same old Jets. Get rid of a guy who's horrendous, and he goes someplace else and has success. So, but we'll see how that plays out. Super Bowl halftime again. I'm looking forward to commercials. I'm not expecting. It hasn't been a great commercial in a long time. Super Bowl halftime. I will not be watching Bad Bunny. I don't care what he promised Roger Goodell.
What did he supposedly promise?
Goodell was asked about him, and he basically said that he sat down and had a conversation with him, especially after the Grammys, where he, did the whole fuck ICE thing. And there's been rumors that he was going to wear a dress when he did the thing, and Goodell must have said to him, "Dude, don't do it. Go out there, sing, do your thing. Don't get political. Don't turn off everybody." I would say if this turns into some sort of fiasco, this would be a big black eye for the NFL. This all gets done by, I think it's Rock Nation. That's Jay-Z's company. They figured that, somehow they worm their way into the NFL, and they pick all these bands and stuff. I won't be watching it. I will catch the highlights on YouTube later on. I will not give the NFL 1 ounce of ratings for that. I will turn my TV off to something else. I will try to catch the Turning Point USA Kid Rock concert and see how that plays out. I'd like to see how that works as an alternative. And I think it's smart. I think some out of the network should have a halftime show. It's 40 minutes long. You can throw in 2 bands in there. You can get a whole bunch of things going on. So I know you don't care. You'll be in the bathroom at that point.
No, you know what I think about the halftime show? I think that it's fucking retarded. I watch the Super Bowl to watch football. I don't care about the halftime show. I think what they should do is maybe do an interview with each head coach for 2 minutes, just like the in-between periods of a hockey game.
Yeah.
Talk to a player from each team, maybe the coach, go over some stats and strategies, and then get right back into the game.
I couldn't agree with you more.
It extends the already long day and a long game, which doesn't need to be made any longer. I don't care if it's Bad Bunny or Green Day or who it is. Yeah. I just don't want to watch any band play at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't care for the most. I've watched a few of them in my course of time, but to me, that's the time I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going to do other things. I don't think too many Super Bowls or there's too many bands you could say are going to play, and I'm going to hang out and watch. So
there's not one band that I would say that I would sit and watch them during the Super Bowl.
If Eddie was still alive and they said Van Halen was playing, I would probably stay and watch Van Halen. I have to admit. Other than that, again, it's not worth it. Most of the time, they're lip syncing. They're not. If they're playing, it's abbreviated. Who cares? Like I said, for the most part, I don't care.
Regardless of who the band is, if you watch it, right, every year that you watch it means one more year that they're going to have it, because it's going to be successful and it's going to make ratings. And the next year, somebody else will do it. So whoever it may be. Britney Spears, Bad Bunny, whoever, it doesn't matter. Alice in Chains, Van Halen, Black Sabbath, the Stones, the Who, whoever. Next year, there's going to be somebody that you do not like, and it's going to be there. And it's going to continue. They're just going to continue to get bands to play. And, and most of the rock bands that everybody's like, well, I wish Metallica would play, man. Well, what are they going to play? What are they going to get up there and play fucking Damage Incorporated or Battery? That nobody's going to pay for that.
No, of course not. And it's not
Master Puppets. Let's glorify cocaine.
Yeah, Rock Nation is Rock Nation's not going to bring out Metallica. They're not going to bring out any of those bands. I don't know. I don't know what you do with it. I agree with you. Go back to the old days. Just give me some analysis of the first half. Tell me what's come up in the second half. I'll take a couple of interviews, and then let's move on back to the game. I'll be happy with that as well. I'll give you the one bit of music news. If anybody had the balls to watch the Grammys, God bless you. It's the Stink Fest of all Stink Fests. And I'll say this: if Billie Eilish isn't the dumbest human being alive, I don't know. I don't know who is. To sit there and say out loud that nobody's illegal on stolen land, and then have the Indian tribe call you up basically and say, "Thank you, give us back." Give us your $14 million mansion because you're on our land, is the greatest thing of all time. I think it's the funniest thing ever.
Hey, listen, if you're going to say something that stupid, then you deserve whatever you get. And I'm glad that they said it. And they should protest outside her house.
Dude, that guy go out in front of a house, stand in front of a house and goes, Billie Eilish, who doesn't believe in borders, has a gated front door with cameras. And she stands there and goes, Billy, let me in. I want to come back into my house. And I said, this is the greatest thing ever. Are you that dumb? You own a mansion. Good for you. You're talented. You people pay for you're making millions. You have a $14 million mansion, I guess it is. And you're going to sit there and say, well, nobody's illegal on stolen land. And so here's what you do now. Now you've opened yourself up to every meme possible. And I think it's great. So all good. Jeff, you have any more of your tidbits you want to throw out there, or you use them all up?
Well, let's celebrate next week.
All right. Just wanted to see if you had any more tidbits.
You listen. When you're trying to get something like that, right? You got to draw them in. You get them a lull them in, and I'd rather just bludgeon them, all together. Not not piecework.
Frank, Matt, give me your predictions for the Super Bowl. I think Matt said 24-20. Matt, I'm assuming you think Seattle. I am going to pick. I think New England wins this game. 24-21, 21-17. I like New England in a very close game. Maybe even a very late touchdown or field goal will win this game. I would be surprised if it's a blowout. I'd be surprised if it's a high number. Two good defenses. Two really good quarterbacks playing well at this point in the year. I think it's an old school punting field position game. I would be shocked if anybody went for fourth down on their own side of the 50 early in the game. So yeah, I'm gonna go New England. It won't surprise me if Seattle wins, but I'm gonna root for New England. 24-17, 24-21. In a semi upset because they're underdog. Jeff, give everybody your prediction.
Tom, I'll tell you the truth, man. I think that when it comes to sports, and you look at baseball and you got the Yankees, you look at hockey, you got the Canadians, you got in basketball, you got the Lakers and the Celtics. In football, you got the Patriots. I think that we're going to see the start of a new run.
Wow.
By the Patriots. I think that they know how to win because they've been there before. You still got Robert Kraft there, even though it's a different team. You got Mike Vrabel, who's won a couple Super Bowls.
Yep.
And I think that they're going to be able to carry it over. And I think that they're going to end up taking it. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. Are you a low scoring game? You think this gets into the 30s?
I'm not going to even go with a score. I don't know, enough about them. I refuse to watch the Patriots unless, of course, it's in the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I'm kind of sickened by even the thought of watching the Seahawks because of Sam Darnold. If he had played a little bit better, maybe he still would have been a Jet. Maybe the Jets would have been in the fucking Super Bowl. Who knows? But right now it's just like, for me, like I said earlier, what way do I go here? It's like, which one?
Wow.
I don't know.
Frankie calling it a blowout. Yeah, Frank, I'd be surprised. But all right, listen, Seattle can score points. And to me, they have the best unit on the field in their secondary. So yeah, it would not surprise me. Any of that, Frank. None of that would surprise me. Well, I think it would surprise me a blowout. I think I'd be surprised by a blowout. It would not surprise me if Sam Darnold's the MVP. I mean, easily could be the quarterback. But I just think the defenses are too good, and I think both offenses are good enough. And I think this is going to be a good football game. I'm hoping for a good game. That's the one thing I'm asking for is I'd like to sit down for 3.5 hours and watch good football. I will not watch Bad Bunny, Frankie, so you'll be on your own. And you're right, Billie Eilish thought she was so smart, and it is the biggest blow up in anybody's face I've seen in a long time. And it couldn't happen to a better person. So I'm
right. You know something though? There's a lot of people that don't know about Billie Eilish, but you know what they just did? They got her new fans.
Maybe.
Definitely, without a doubt, because there's people that checked her out now for the first time.
Probably right.
What is she doing? A lot of the celebrities, the clips that I did, I do not watch the Grammys that I saw after the fact, and they were like nodding their heads in agreement with what she said. So now their fans may look at what she said. Believe me, any publicity is good publicity for. You're right. She got more people on the left and the progressive left to probably buy her albums. And put it this way, it didn't matter what she said. Nobody on the right was buying Billie Eilish's albums anyway, so it didn't matter. You know something? The fucking people on the right, Tom, they got to pull their heads out of their fucking asses too. That's why we have the mess that we have in New York now, and it's only been a couple fucking days because they didn't want to give up their position and not switch parties to prevent the bigger mess from happening. So to toe the party line, they ended up fucking themselves. I couldn't agree with you more. I hated Cuomo. I hate his guts, but I would have voted for, if I had the choice, I would have voted for him. Slee was a maniac. I like. They just picked my fucking garbage up last night for the first time in a week and a half. If anybody hasn't realized that this kid is way over his head, has no clue what he's doing. His policies don't work. If they haven't figured it out after less than a month on the job, I don't know if anybody's watching, but you're right, Jeff. 100%. The New York Republicans screwed up, and they should have got together and chose Cuomo and bit the bullet and all that stuff that went with him. You probably could have sat down and made a deal with him to say, if you're going to act like a moron, and we'll vote for you, but you can't. I promise not to act like a moron. And he can't fucking give you that fucking. But you know what? I would have took that over anything that Mondami was going. But listen, New York deserves everything it gets from this guy. Whatever he does for the next 4 years, I'm sorry if you live in New York, and you didn't vote for him. I apologize, but all you liberal morons who voted for that guy and think that he can actually do anything he said. I mean, he walked in and said, "Oh my God, we're short $12 billion." I didn't know. How did you not know? Adams was screaming about it. No problem. The shortage hasn't even happened yet. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Right now, he's $2 billion in the hole. He could be up to $12 billion in the hole. No, he's $12 billion in the hole. Adams said before he left office, we have right $12 billion shortfall. So, well, listen, bring back Ed Koch. Yeah, I take him over Mondami for sure. One way or another, I just hope that this leads to a buyout. Give me 3 fucking years and I'm gone. Yeah, well, I hope for your sake you get it. And I got to tell you, every day I got to go into that city, my stomach turns upside down. But listen, let's not make this political. We're having a fun with our Super Bowl show.
And to end it, Jeff, real quick, we had our first practice for the Hard Rock and Sports Band. We got hopefully our one and done gig coming up in May. Jeff, give everybody your quick thoughts on how the first practice went.
Yeah, it's encouraging, man. Everybody came in there that for the most part, we got a feel for one another, which most of us already had. But, we had Dorothy come in for the first time, an old friend for many, many years from when we were younger. And she handled herself like a professional.
Yep.
And she knew her parts and even songs that she did not know, she knew the parts.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to getting back in there. You know that on March 8th, you saw that I have a show.
Oh, I did not know that. No.
Yeah, I sent that in the
I'm sorry.
Everybody just bypassed that.
I didn't see it. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Oh my
March
God.
8th, I have a show, but it's a benefit for Chris Salazar. I got to go there,
right?
Because 25 Missions is playing. You guys, practice, but I didn't want just to take a 3-hour practice if I'm not going to be there. But that's okay because somewhere down the line, maybe Paul don't have to come or whatever, and then we work on my stuff. I'm not too worried about it. But with some of the songs that we're picking, we're going to need some time. We're going to need some practices.
Yeah. We actually doing Hit Me With Your Best Shot. That's actually one it is on the song list. Well, maybe we'll talk. I mean, we could push it to the 15th. I mean, what's the big deal? We'll just move it up.
What's the big deal is I have a show that weekend too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah, another benefit. But listen.
All right, we'll just work on the songs that Paul's doing.
It's more important. I could always practice along at home.
Yeah.
Okay? No. And then I'll know my parts. Don't worry about me. I'll know them. I'll learn them. But everybody else, get them in there. Keep the fucking fire going, man.
No. We'll be there March 8th, and we'll work on all the songs that Paul's got under his belt and tighten them up as best we can and take it from there. But I will probably scale it back to a 2-hour practice instead of a 3-hour, considering we don't have a full roster.
Yeah.
We do half the songs at that
Have
point.
you spoken to Ronnie at all?
I did the other day. Still in. He hasn't answered me on the set listing that I sent him, but we'll see. But everything worked out at home, and he knows about March 8th. So let's see what happens.
Okay, good.
All right, but guys, I hope everybody enjoys the game this weekend. We'll come back next week. Jeff and I will watch. We'll give you our take on the game. We'll break it down. We'll start talking some baseball. We'll talk about the Olympics. Whatever pops up in our brain gets a little fuzzy from now till July, but we'll get through the next few months with a lot of help from you guys. But we're also going to do our top 10 or 20 backup quarterbacks of all time. Matt gave us a little homework, so we'll try to get that done. In the meantime, guys, it's going to be really cold out this weekend, so please stay home, turn the heat up a little bit, throw another log on the fire if that's what you got. Stay safe, stay warm, and make sure you come back and watch Hard Rock and Sports next Thursday night when Jeff and I get together at 7 p.m. to do it all over again. So, guys, for Jeff and myself and the whole team here on Hard Rock and Sports, I say have a great night, a great rest of your night, great rest of your week, great weekend, great next week, and come on back next Thursday when Jeff and I and the whole team get back together. So, for Jeff, myself, and everybody here at Hard Rock and Sports, have a great week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Be safe. Hefe, have a great one. I'll talk to you off the air.
You got it, dude. Be good. Stay warm.
All right, man.
Later.
Later, everybody.